Yes, you're welcome to my channel. It's your boy Jacob. Now in this video today we are going to talk about how you can work and immigrate to the United States of America as a registered nurse. So if you are really interested in this topic, just stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to give you all the details you need to work in the United States of America as a registered nurse. So without wasting time, let's dive into the tutorial. Now, one of the major requirements needed for you to work in the US as a registered nurse is you need to be a registered nurse with either a diploma or a degree at that level of education. So if you have your diploma in general nursing, you're good to go. If you have your degree in general nursing as a registered nurse in your country, you are good to go. So that's a major requirement for you. If you are a registered midwife, a registered psychiatric nurse, no, you are not needed because that level of education in the US is done at a master's level after acquiring your general registered nursing qualification. So if you are a midwife or you're a psychiatric nurse in the US, that one is at a master's level. If you want to immigrate, if you are in that profession, you need to go and do registered nursing general one or a registered nursing degree if you are to immigrate to the USA as a registered nurse. So those are the major requirements. Another thing you need is you need to at least have 1 year of experience as a registered nurse. So the specialties needed, you need to be either an ER, a med surgical nurse, a critical care nurse. You have experience in ICU, HDU, dialysis, cardiac. Those are the major specialties US employers are looking for. If you have a specialty like in neonatal or pediatrics, those ones are not needed so much. They want adult health nursing. So if you have those specialties, med surgical, critical care, cardiac, dialysis, you are on market and good to go. So those are the major requirements needed for you to work in the US. So where do you start from if you're a registered nurse in your home country? First of all, you need to choose a state in the US which is going to allow you to take the NCLEX exam. Now the NCLEX exam is the exam which will allow you work in the US as a registered nurse. So in the US, all states have their own board of nursing with different requirements. So basically, if you want to work in the USA when you are from a foreign country or in Africa or somewhere else, you need to choose a state which has easier requirements for you to apply and take the NCLEX. So most like in African countries, most people use Texas as their state. Others choose New York, New Mexico. Those are the states which have easier requirements for you to register and take the exam. So with Texas, you only registered with around $100, which you can do online nowadays. So everything is simplified. You can register with them online and pay $100 and you be allowed to take the exam with them. There are also other requirements. So after choosing a state in the US which will allow you to take the NCLEX exam, another important thing which you need to do is you need to register with 𝐔𝐉𝐻. 𝐔𝐉𝐻 is an organization which verifies your documents. So basically you need an organization to verify your documents to make a CS report which will be taken to the board of nursing. So basically, why do your documents need to be verified? So you need your documents verified and evaluated to see that your qualifications are equivalent to those of a registered nurse in the USA. If you're a registered nurse at the diploma level, your qualifications need to be evaluated and verified to see that they meet the same qualifications of a diploma nurse or an associate nurse in the USA. If you're a degree nurse in your foreign country, your qualifications are verified to see that they are at the same standard as a degree nurse in the USA. So basically, you need to register with 𝐔𝐉𝐻, and there are other organizations which do academic credential evaluation, but 𝐔𝐉𝐻 is the most popular one which most people use, and it's quite very good. So basically, you register and open up an account with 𝐔𝐉𝐻. After opening up an account with them, you need to pay some money so that your documents can be evaluated. So you pay around $385 for 𝐔𝐉𝐻 to verify your documents. So after paying the money and opening up an account with them, you need to fill out your biographic data and your education background, your nursing council, the state which is going to allow you to take the NCLEX. So after everything is filled in, you need to download the papers. So there are some forms which you download from 𝐔𝐉𝐻 which are taken to your nursing school, and also another one taken to the nursing council in your country. So basically you download the papers, you take to your nursing school to fill in the hours of your transcript where you started from. The nursing school is the one to fill in the hours. So once they have filled in the hours, they will send it directly to 𝐔𝐉𝐻 for evaluation. Even the nursing council, you send there a form which the nursing council will verify that you're a registered nurse in that country, and it will send it to 𝐔𝐉𝐻. So after doing that, 𝐔𝐉𝐻 verifies your documents within 3 to 4 months period. After that period, they will send a report to your board of nursing in the US explaining about your academic credentials to see that you meet those ones of a registered nurse in the USA. So after the 𝐔𝐉𝐻 has sent your report to your board of the nursing in the USA, the next step is to complete the requirements of that board of nursing. There are other requirements needed for you to complete. For example, Texas will need for you to complete a jurisprudence exam, and also you need to check the criminal background record. That one is very important. Criminal background record, what they do basically, they give you an FBI fingerprint card which you take to a police, and they put in the fingerprints, and you send them to the US for verification to see that you have no criminal background record. So after completing those with the board of nursing in the USA, when they see that you fulfilled all the requirements needed for you to take the exam, they will give you what they call an ATT, an authorization to test. So before they give you even the ATT, you must have already been studying for your NCLEX, because the ATT takes only 3 months to expire. If you want to know more about preparing for the NCLEX exam, I'm going to leave a link down there in the description section, because I've done a topic on how to prepare and pass your NCLEX. So before even the state board of nursing gives you the ATT, which will allow you to book for the Pearsonville Center, you must have already studied your NCLEX, because the ATT given to you expires within only 3 months. So what is the ATT? The ATT is an authorization to test. It authorizes you to test, and that figure which is given to you, you will take it and log in the Pearsonville Center to check out for the testing centers which will allow you to take the exam. So it is you to choose a Pearsonville Center where you take the NCLEX exam, and you cannot do it when you don't have an ATT. So here in Africa, majority of people go to either India as a Pearsonville Center and Johannesburg. So before the pandemic, most of our nurses were going to India in Mumbai to take the NCLEX exam. But after that, they introduced the center in South Africa. So majority of them are taking it in Johannesburg in South Africa, because it's the nearest Pearsonville Center. So after getting your ATT, you get a Pearsonville Center where you are going to take the NCLEX exam. Within 2 to 3 months, you must have done your NCLEX at the Pearsonville Center, because after that the ATT will expire. So it gives you an allowance of around only 3 months for you to prepare and take your exam. So after taking your NCLEX exam, you've passed it. That is, congratulations to you. It's almost 50% of the process done for you to go to the US and work as a registered nurse. So after getting and passing your NCLEX exam, the next step for you is to do the IELTS exam. the English language test exam. It's quite very important for you to process your visa screen. So you do the English exam at the British Council. Majority of people, that's where they do it from. The requirements for the English IELTS exam for US immigration are not very high like most countries. You only need a 7 in speaking and an overall of a 6.5 in listening, reading, and writing. Those are not very high. Actually, they are very simple to get. So you do your IELTS. After passing your IELTS, the next thing is for you to look for an immigration, a US immigration agency, a US recruitment nursing agency, which will cater for your immigration to the US as a registered nurse. Now, after passing, some people are lucky that the US recruiting agency can sponsor them from the beginning of the CGFA. But sometimes it's not easy. So the easiest way is to start the process and pass your NCLEX. When you have your NCLEX and IELTS, all these agencies will be yearning to sign you up to cater for your immigration process. So when you get the US agents, there are quite very many US agents which can cater for your immigration process to the USA. There's Avant, there's MediPro, there's OGP, there's Interstaff. There are so many. It's you to choose the best and the one which you want to sponsor your immigration process to the USA. So after getting a recruiting agency, they'll sign a contract. You sign a contract with them. Some people take it 2 years. Some agencies require a contract of around 3 years. It all depends on them and the ones you choose. So it's good to choose a good recruiting agency which will sponsor for your immigration process. So after choosing a good one, they require you to sign a contract. So after signing a contract with them, the next step is they will file your I-140 petition. Now, what is an I-140 petition? It is a petition to the USCIS requesting to take up an alien worker as a nurse, in this case to the US. So they file your I-140. They require a lot of your documents, the nursing transcript documents, all those documents, nursing documents. A lot of documents are requested from you to file this I-140. So this I-140 is filed in 2 ways. There is regular filing and premium filing of the I-140. Regular filing will take around 8 months for you to get an approval, and premium processing takes around only 15 days for you to get an approval or an answer from the USCIS about your case. So most agencies who don't want to delay the nurses, they file for premium processing. Only takes 15 days and you get a report from USCIS about your case. Premium is quite expensive, but it's the best. In only 15 days you get your approval, but regular takes around 8 months, which are so long. So most agencies, nursing recruiting agencies, file for premium processing for their foreign nurses. So after the filing of the premium processing or a regular processing and your case is approved, the next step is they will send your case to the National Visa Center. So the National Visa Center will receive your file within 2 weeks to 2 months, and after receiving your file, they will send you what they call a DS-260 form. Now, a DS-260 form is a form where you are going to fill all your biographic data, all your civil documents, birth certificate, all the dependents, and if everything was okay, they require you to pay a certain fee for NVC. So you pay a fee for your visa, and also you pay for your dependents. In most agencies pay for their applicants, and it's you to pay the fees, the NVC fees for your dependents. So it all depends on how many dependents you have. So after fulfilling those requirements, all your civil documents, all your history, employment history has been filled in a DS-260 form, and all the fees have been paid, the National Visa Center will name your case after reviewing it as a case complete. Now, after getting a case complete, the next step is for you to get a date at your consular section in your country for the visa interview. Now, those processes are very important. There are two things which are so important to getting your date at the consular section in your country. Your priority date needs to be current and your case needs to be complete. Those things are quite very important. If your priority date is not current, you will not get a date. What is a priority date? Is the date of filing of your I-140, and the case complete is the date when your documents were completely qualified at the National Visa Center. So those two things are quite very important for you to get a date for interview at the consular section, a U.S. embassy in your home country to take the visa interview. Now, before the pandemic came, things were easy. People would get their visa interviews within 1 month or 2 months. That was quite easy. But after the pandemic, the embassies closed up and they were working on quite a very small scale. So there was a lot of visa backlog. Right now, they are interviewing people of 2021. So there is a lot of visa backlog, and most of the nurses actually wait for 1 year even to get their visa dates. 1 year, 1.5 years after the pandemic. But now that everything has opened up, the dates are getting closer and people are taking their interviews. So after your case has been completed and the embassy calls you for an interview date, you are booked for a visa interview date, it's time to get excited. So the most important thing now is to book for your medicals. You book for your medicals, you go and they take the x-ray, they take off blood, they do a physical exam, and if the report is good and it's sent to the US embassy and the day has come for your interview, you can take your visa interview. So after taking your visa interview and your visa is approved and issued, that is the last step in your process of immigrating to the USA as a registered nurse. And it's time to get excited. It's time to start packing, because within 1 month after your visa issued, you'll be on your way to the US to work as a registered nurse. It's that time where you are very excited, and it's quite a very exciting moment because this process takes long. From the time of your CGFN to the visa interview, for some people it takes 2 years, some people 3 years, and after the pandemic, some people even take 4 years. It depends on the difficulties you've had through the process. But majority of people take around 2 to 3 years for them to immigrate to the USA and work as a registered nurse. So thank you very much for listening to that my tutorial. All those are the simple processes. I've tried to put them brief, but each process is quite has a lot of details. If I get time, I'll go and explain more on each process: CGFN, NCLEX, I-140, embassy interview. So just keep on my tutorials. I'm going to give you a lot of tutorials on how you can immigrate to the US as a registered nurse from level to level. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about the process on how to immigrate in the USA as a registered nurse, don't hesitate to make your comment right there in the comment section.